If the world hates you, just remember that it has hated me first. If you belong to the world, then the world would love you as its own. But I chose you from this world, and you do not belong to it. That is why the world hates you. Whoever hates me, hates my Father also. They would not have been guilty of sin if I had not done among them the things that no one else ever did. As it is, they have seen what I did, and they hate both me and my Father. They hated me for no reason at all.
Hello and welcome everybody. God bless you all. Welcome to another stream, One Piece 1165 long summary spoilers. Hope everyone's having a beautiful morning, day, or night wherever you guys are. I'm excited to go over this content, these long summary spoilers. I have not read them yet. I hope there's a lot more to talk about than the short summary, as the short summary was mainly combat and mainly confirmations on things we already know. So hope everyone's doing great. God bless everyone being here. Let me know how you guys are doing. How has your morning, day, or night went since yesterday? How are we feeling? Any updates on your guys' lives? Let me know what's going on, chat. What is going on? Eric, God bless, bro. Abigna, God bless. I honestly, chat, I wanted to take a nap before this stream, but I couldn't fall asleep. So here I am. Hope these long summary spoilers are good, man, because when we get chapters that's like mainly based on combat, there's not really much to say, you know? Like, it's just like, oh, this guy's throwing a punch. You know, there's nothing really to discuss. That's why I really enjoy the chapters, you know, like the lore chapters, because, you know, when we have the short summary, we're discussing, we're thinking. When we get the long summary, we're still discussing and thinking. Same with the chapter and even after the chapter. But the combat chapters, not really anything to say. It's, you know, we're just here. Christ, Jay, God bless, bro. How you doing? Deans, God bless, bro. Are these spoilers any good? I'm actually afraid. I don't know if there's been much discussion on the spoilers. I don't know if there's been much discussion aside from, you know, the one and only Garp witnessing a genocide and continuing to stay with that faction of people for another 37 years. So like 4 decades. He witnessed the genocide and stayed with them another 4 decades, which, by the way, chat, did Garp know about O'Hara by any chance? Like, did he know about the O'Hara incident? Because if Garp knows about O'Hara and Garp was like, yeah, well, pirates are bad, it just shows that, you know, you can't really justify that he stayed there because he punched Saturn. It's just weak. Like his own son, Dragon, right? His own son, Dragon, left the Marines. And he didn't have anything to even start with. Dragon was just barely like a cadet. At least Dragon probably could have brought some people with him or something. He could have used his clout. Vincent, God bless, bro. Did the name of the chapter or the title of the chapter change? Probably. I mean, like, they always give out, like, bad chapter titles. Like, the official chapter title might not even be what this is. This, in the long summary, it's echoes, and I remember in the short summary, it was reverberations. So there's been many times where, like, you'll see the chapter title from the leakers completely different, a totally different thing from the official. So, I mean, not very surprising. I'm still kind of curious as to why, like, the leakers, you know, these guys, apparently their first language is in English. I wonder why these guys don't just use like ChatGPT or something to translate. I think they use Google Translate. Eric, God bless, bro. What if Garp is only still working for the Marines because Dragon starts a revolutionary army after God Valley and Emu threatens to kill Dragon if Garp doesn't comply? Maybe, but that's just like a pure guess. It's a pure guess, and that seems like a strange request. Like, that seems like weird where it's like, oh, your son is making a whole army to overthrow me as a D-Clan member, but like I'll let him live as long as you work for me, Garp. Like, Emu doesn't really seem like the kind of guy to make a deal. Emu seems like the kind of guy to just straight up erase people and kill them. But yeah, that's what I would say. And you know, that whole premise, although it's possible, is just like completely speculative. But what we don't have to speculate about is that Garp worked for the Marines for another 37 years after God Valley. What if Garp wants to smash? Okay. All right, chat. Let's begin. Let's do a quick prayer and jump into the long summary spoilers. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, one God. Amen. Let's get this show on the road, guys. Vincent, God bless, bro. Let's get this show on the road. I hope there's some stuff to discuss, man. If I just read a bunch of stuff we already know and combat-related things, then, I mean, we might have to end early. All right, more details of the chapter thanks to Read On from Arlong Park Farms. Oh, no way, Read On did the spoilers. Who would have guessed? That's the first. Chapter 1165, Echoes. Reader request in the cover. Beppo laying comfortably with Zeus as a pillow. Oda added Law to the cover, and all of them are sleeping on top of a giant sheep. Okay. Chapter starts where the last one ended. Garp asked Roger if he can also hear Rox's voice. Then Roger and Garp attacked Demon Rox. I guess like someone made like a fair question. If Garp was able to hear Zebek's voice through like voice of all things, I guess, does that mean Garp has voice of all things? And by extension, does that mean Dragon has a voice of all things? I actually thought that was a pretty interesting question. Because like my first instinct, or my first question rather, is it only Garp and Roger that hear Zebek, or will there be other characters that hear Zebek? We see multiple pages of the battle. Roger and Garp's attacks didn't wound Rox. This confrontation ended with a colossal clash that created a massive wave of Supreme Conqueror's hockey. Roger and Garp crashed into the mountains. The clash split the sky over God Valley. That's going to be sick. I mean, I don't really, again, like, there's not much for me to say on this point. Like, I don't really know what to say. This is just one of those things where, like, you're just going to have to see the panels in action and just kind of have a reaction, you know? Like, I don't really know what to say about this. I mean, I guess it'd be cool, you know, seeing another sky split. I think we haven't had one in a while. Chat, when was the last time we had a sky split? Was there one during Egghead? I don't think there was one during Egghead. Obviously, we had Luffy splitting the sky with Kaido and Wano, but did we get a sky split in Wano or in a Egghead? Does it skip a generation? But I think Dragon has it also need Garp lineage reveal. I mean, it's possible that it skips a generation, but that would seem like a random caveat, you know? Oh, shoot. Hold on, I closed the spoilers. Yeah, it's possible that Voice of All Things skips a generation, but I think like that's a completely random caveat, right? Wouldn't we just like naturally assume that they pass it down, especially since Luffy has it? Wait, Momonosuke has Voice of All Things, right? Just like Odin. Why can't all things hear Voice of All Things? I don't even know why it's called Voice of All Things. TCG, God bless. This is not early. We did have like a few streams here and there at 11, but nah, we've had a lot of streams at this time. God bless you, bro. Biswa, God bless, man. I talked to my friend about this idea because during Onigashima, when Luffy was saved by Law's crew, I didn't understand why that one random guy could hear Luffy's voice. Did he only have Voice of All Things? Who do you mean by that random guy or that one random guy? Who are you referring to? I know maybe that's not a good question because, like, how do you describe a random guy? But I want to know what you're referring to. I have no idea what you're talking about. Are you talking about like when Luffy got knocked off Onigashima? And like Luffy fell in the water? Yeah, I'm to be honest, I'm not entirely sure how Voice of All Things works. And I don't even think Oda has set clear parameters around it either. It's 9 o'clock? Really? It's 9 o'clock? Oh, shoot. It is 9 o'clock. Oh, that explains it. D-Clan members and Kazukis can hear voice. Yeah, but Dean's is pointing out like that like some random guy in Wano also heard Luffy's voice. And I don't think that random guy is a D-Clan member. I mean, maybe he's a D-Clan member or a Kazuki, but maybe in the way that you're saying that, you're not trying to counter-argue Dean's. Maybe you're just kind of adding on. Yeah, it's 9:16 a.m. now. It's 6 a.m. in Cali. I doubt Ella's up. Bro, that's way too early. I didn't know the time moved back. Honestly, it's kind of annoying having like this time go back an hour, time go forwards an hour, time goes forward an hour. Like, can we just ignore what it looks like outside and just stick to one time? Can we just get rid of the daylight savings time? Because we go back an hour, forward an hour, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward. It seems like just kind of pointless. Chat, let's sign a petition to like remove daylight savings time. I don't see the point of it. Jean Bart? Yeah, that guy's not a D-Clan member, and neither is he. I mean, maybe he's a D-Clan member, but as far as we know, he's not. And I highly doubt he's a Kazuki. Smokey must be asleep now. No point in streaming. Trump tried to get rid of it, but it was denied. Bro, I'm not even a fan of Trump. But I think like daylight saves time is kind of pointless. I don't know. Maybe there's a legit reason out there. Like someone's like, no, actually, we need the daylight savings time because of this one really important factor that you are not taking into account. Hey, I'm open to that, bro. I'm always open into learning new perspectives and changing my perspectives and stuff like that. But as far as I understand it, daylight savings time is kind of pointless. It's for businesses, really, but it's to have daylight throughout the day. Yeah, it's for the businesses where, like, they open up at a certain time and they close at a certain time. I get all that, but, like, that's not worth it, bro. All right, let's continue. Let's continue with the spoilers. Roger and Garp got up after the clash. Despite being wounded, they took off their jackets, ready to continue fighting. Two little Denden Mushis started ringing, and they talked with their comrades. Roger and Garp say, "We will return." Garp says, Rox, Roger, I was planning on putting both of you in cuffs on this island, but now I realized I gotta continue serving the celestial dragons. Roger says, and my original plan was to take Shaki and the treasures and get the hell out of here, because I don't really care about stopping the celestial dragons. So, matter of fact, Garp, seems like we have to team up, huh? Garp says, not my intention coming here at all, but I suppose leaving this fella to his own is out of the options. And not only is that out of the options, but leaving the celestial dragons and ending my slavery under them, serving the Jews, serving Satan is not an option either. Then Roger and Garp attacked Rox again. At the same time, we see that Rayleigh reached their ship and brought Shaki to safety. Roger pirates arrived too with all treasures they could get. We see Keo. Who's Keo? We see Keo telling his men to take the ship and leave the island. Shiki said too that this is the end of Rock's pirates. Linlin and Kaido were talking in other parts of God Valley. They were fine despite Rock's attacks. Yeah, again, guys, I don't really have anything to add here. I don't even know what to say. Like, what do you think, chat? Is there any commentary you guys have? Young Smokey, God bless, bro. How you doing, man? PB&J, God bless, bro. All glory be to our Lord and Savior, Christ Jesus, who made the ultimate sacrifice on the cross. May he be glorified forever and ever. May his kingdom never end. Daylight savings time matters more at some places. It just seems like random. Maybe it's not entirely random, but it just seems like makes life more complicated. Raws are out. Rox split the sky himself. When you say he split the sky himself, do you mean like Rox? What do you mean by split the sky himself? Like it wasn't a clash? Like he himself split it? He didn't even clash on anyone? I don't know if I'm not going to look at the Raws. No Raws this week, guys. I'm not looking at them. Just a straight up action chapter. This is what I wanted. Can't complain. Honestly, bro, I'm not a fan of the action chapters because I don't know what to say. Like, there's not much to talk about. I get that action is necessary, obviously. Like, this is a anime. This is a shonen manga. You need action. I'm not taking away and trying to argue that like every chapter needs to be this massive lore drop. In fact, I think people would just be strawmanning me if they acted like I wanted that or I believe that. That's not what I think at all. But, you know, when these action-packed chapters come out, there's not going to be a lot to discuss unless like you're a power scaler. But even then, you could have an action chapter that doesn't really alter power scaling. A lot of people are stuck in their own opinions and positions anyways. Like on some Gear 5 Luffy transformation? Wait, what do you mean? Oh, Keo is Silver Axe. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you pointing that out. They should have just said Silver Axe. They didn't have to say Keo, bro. All right, next point. Linlin says, listen now, Kaido. This is the debt of a lifetime, and I will make you pay me back one day. Kaido says, idiot. I beat you in that competition for the fruit. That's the simple truth, Linlin. Just you see. I will establish a crew where violence is everything. Linlin says, getting ahead of ourselves, aren't we? You will never surpass me. Streusen out of nowhere. Linlin, what are you doing? We are leaving. Take the treasures. Linlin says, I will come to collect that debt one day. Kaido says, and I will throw you back where you came from. I don't know if they meant to say in other parts or if they meant to say in another part. In other part of God Valley, Newgate met the pirate who looked like Marco. He's Polo Egram, captain of the Polo Pirates. Oh, so Marco Polo. Hey, what do you think the wife's name is? Or the mother's name? You got Father Marco, son, no, father Polo, son Marco. Any theories on what the wife's name is? Who's going to tell her Kaido surpassed Big Mom in less time it took her to establish herself? I mean, I think Big Mom and Kaido, they have like different goals. They were going different directions. You know, Big Mom wanted to like collect all the races, right? Big Mom wants to collect all the races, have like the biggest tea party or whatever. Mother's name is Ralph Lauren Polo. Yeah, maybe the mom's name is Lauren. I was actually thinking like, I heard Marco, I heard Polo, and I started thinking about like some fashion designers or like some clothing brands, and I couldn't think of one, but that's genius. The mom's name is Lauren. Surpasses her in the sense he was the stronger Yonko. I don't know, bro. Didn't Kaido and Big Mom fight for like a week straight? Or was it like 3 days straight? All right, let's continue. Polo says, Newgate, you are the one who crashed that mountain, aren't you? Looks like the crew is falling apart. My name is Graham. I'm a fan of yours. You got no ships to return to, right? Work with me. Newgate says, sounds like a pain. Get lost. Oh, I thought that was going to say sounds like a plan. Stussy, Ganzui, and Gil Bastar. Who's Gil Bastar? Who is that? Are these guys trying to use like different character names on purpose? Like, bro, why are you saying Kyo? Just say Silver Axe. We're running away with several treasures. Gil Bastar was accompanied by a ghost that looks similar to the ones Perona creates in the present. Stussy was very angry, asking where is Newgate. And one of the marine battleships, Dragon was threatened. What are you doing? In one of the marine battleships, Dragon was threatening a higher rank marine with a rifle to take some surviving civilians on the ship with them. On the other hand, Rayleigh and Gabon decided to return to the island to look for Roger. They asked Roger pirates to leave the island and wait for them. Wait, so let me get this straight. Dragon directly opposes the Celestial Dragons, tries to help everyone on God Valley, points a rifle to the head of a Celestial Dragon, leaves the Celestial Dragons as all of that as a regular cadet. And people will justify Garp remaining in the Marines, serving Celestial Dragons for another 37 years. Wow, bro. Yo, Dragon has a way better heart than Garp. Then what happened? 37 years later, Garp watches Ace die. Bro, there's no defending Garp in terms of like I think Garp is an amazing character, but he is a character that made a bad moral decision of staying with the Celestials. Bro, he literally questioned reality. He literally questioned reality and questioned justice because he knew the genocide on God Valley was wrong, and he still stayed with the Marines. Why am I signing the apology form? Smokey, you know I love you, bro. But why is that all you guys have to say? There's legit criticism behind Garp's decisions, and all you guys can say is sign the apology form. Oh, trust me, Garp has a plan. It's like, when are we going to talk about reality? The reality is Garp witnessed a genocide, which, by the way, Garp has to have known by now that the Celestial Dragons are already corrupt. I don't think Garp, it took God Valley for him to realize they were corrupt. But anyways, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. It won't save him. He gets to God Valley. He witnesses a genocide. He literally thinks to himself, I don't even know what justice is anymore. He literally questions his own ideology. Garp literally questions his own worldview, while his own son, who is probably very young, maybe like 21 years old or something, I don't know, someone do the math, I think Dragon was like 19, who's only a cadet in the Marines, by the way, leaves the Marines, starts a militia, starts an army. But then you have Garp that continues to, by Garp being a Marine, he's literally working for them, pushing their agenda. Do you think Jesus is going to kill the blank? Does it mean Jesus is bad? Same thing with Garp. That is such a retarded comparison. I'm sorry, Abigna, that's mean. I think that's an awful comparison. Jesus never worked for corrupted people, helping them push their agenda. Jesus was not in the Pharisees, helping them achieve their goals. He literally rebuked them and exposed their works of darkness and led people away from that. Hence the apostles. Garp isn't leading anyone away from the Marines or the Celestials when he's literally operating, working for them. And then you get the Cope comments like this. Garp is operating from within. And their proof is what? Their proof is a theory. Their proof is literally a theory. Don't forget this guy was slandering Dragon not so long ago. I was slandering Dragon on proper terms, on fair critiques, which, by the way, I still hold those critiques. I just take away I guess the jokes. I always said it was a joke. But in terms of like outside the jokes, being honest, it would be the fact that this is a shonen manga and he's not fighting. What goal did Garp really help the Marines achieve? Are you really gonna? Are you arguing that Garp as a Marine didn't push Marine agendas? Is that what your argument is? Dragon's gonna one-shot the Gorsei. When did I say that? I did talk about Dragon killing Saturn, but I don't know if I recall one-shotting. Hey, and if anything, that's anti-Dragon. I mean, that's pro-Dragon, I mean. The anime recently revealed that Joyboy was hypothetically a fallen angel. Really? I didn't watch it. Dragon, who was just a cadet, left the Marines to start the Revolutionary Army with a priest and a transformer. He deserves the respect, honor, and glory. Yeah. Don't forget our bet on Dragon versus two Figurlins. Yeah, exactly. Dude, that should be considered pro-Dragon. I'm sorry, Abigna, that was very mean. I do disagree with that comparison, though. I think those are two totally different situations. I don't know how anyone could read the Gospels and then think like, oh yeah, this is a perfect comparison to Garp in the Marines. Like, did we even read the same Gospel? And if we did, are we reading the same One Piece? Like, that's two totally different things. If anything, Dragon is like more similar to Jesus in that regard, but I don't say similar to Jesus because nobody can ever compare to Jesus, but in terms of a comparison for working with a group of people or leaving them, I think Dragon would be more sufficient. But even then, like, Dragon wouldn't be the perfect comparison. All right, let's continue, guys. Emu in Saturn's body, normal Saturn's body is now Emu's eyes, left the island on a world government ship. Emu ordered to erase God Valley from existence. Then the narrator explains how Marines from the G11 base in Cypherpole 6 erased all information about God Valley in the hunting tournament. Yeah, that sounds just like Mossad. Sounds just like Mossad. When are we going to analyze Christianity? I don't know. We would probably need a separate stream for that. And there's a lot to analyze. I don't know what exactly you would want to analyze. There's a lot of stuff, bro. It's very, very deep. All right, last point. Garp and Roger versus Rocks continues. The other huge mountain of God Valley was destroyed during the battle. Garp and Roger couldn't damage Rocks because even though they coded their attacks with Supreme King's Haki, Rocks used his Supreme Haki to cancel them out. Wait, so it's only these two pictures? It doesn't even say like... Wait, what? Oh, no, it's 3 pictures. Against this background, Roger suggested to pour all their Supreme King Haki together in one attack to overcome Rock's guards. But that plan had a problem. After that attack, Roger and Garp will have no strength left, so it's a gamble. But Garp agreed with Roger's plan. Then in an absolutely epic final double page of the chapter, Roger and Garp used a combined attack to defeat Rocks. Roger says, Hino Kakutsuchi no Ace. Kanji means wise man of the flame god. Garp uses infinitum explosion. Roger attacked with multiple thrusts to cut Rox's body, and Garp threw Rox several punches at the same time. This attack is similar to Gomo Gomo no Gatling. Chapter ends with Rox defeat as the narrator talks about the legacy of the Rox pirates. The narrator says the world government sought to conceal the incident in this entirety. However, the group under Roxy Zebek was an organization of chaos that shaped an era. The collapse of the Rox pirates shook the world with its defined echoes. And that's the chapter. Sounds like a cool chapter, but this is going to be one of those chapters where you have to look at the chapter for itself. There's not that much to discuss. Young Smokey with the 50 bomb. This guy brought a nuke into the building. Wokey, chat. Wokey. Can we get Wokies? I think we will get one more chapter of God Valley. Although I would like 2 more. Scopper and Rayleigh return to the island to retrieve Roger, and Rayleigh probably told them to carry Garp, a.k.a. Alabasta Parallel, to saving Smoker. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. I see the vision, but I wonder, is Oda going to go for that vision? There's been a few times where we read One Piece and we're like, oh man, Oda should do this one thing. It'd be an awesome parallel. And then like Oda just doesn't do it. So I don't know. I hope, but hey, Smokey, this is documented. Actually, Smokey, you've taken a number of W's this year. Smokey has taken multiple W's on theories this year and takes this year. So who knows? Maybe that's going to happen. I totally understand the premise. I get the point. I see what's being pursued here. I understand, but I don't know, bro. My hopes lately are just so low, man. I don't even know. God bless you, Smokey. Thank you. Screenshot this, Smokey. Screenshot this so we have it documented. All right. God bless you, bro. Thank you so much. And then Smokey says also multiple thrusts sounds kinky. Hey, how about you get your mind out the gutter? How about you purify your mind? How about you cut back on corn? How about you cut it out of your diet, Smokey? Much love, bro. Much love. Somebody has to thrust multiple times in this No Nut November, bro. Why do you think Emu just left without killing the other people who had attacked it? Good question. Emu's probably like, oh, shoot, this isn't working. Let's just destroy the island. Maybe it's something like that. Ah, man, I can't take down Roger, Garp, and Zebek. Let me just leave and destroy the island. Also, I think like one handicap of Emu is that he doesn't want to reveal his identity. I feel like Emu, because he doesn't want to reveal his identity, that's actually a handicap, and he can't fight at 100%. Does anyone else agree? Who knows Sandman's identity? I don't know. Does anyone know it? Maybe nobody knows it. Why was Garling the champion of God Valley? All he did was lose aura. Yeah, that's actually a good question. Why was he the champion? Yo, see, it's literally just propaganda from these guys. And then they put it into the mainstream media, and then people think like, oh, the news said this thing. It must be true. The Celestial Dragons were promised that land. They're the good guys. Look, it's on the news. Don't you see what Roxy Zebek believed in? Roxy Zebek was the bad guy. Look, the news says it. Zebek was a bad guy. The God Valley citizens, the Davy clan, like, they're using babies as human shields. Look what the Davy clan's doing, guys. The Davy clan's using children as human shields. So that justifies what the Holy Knights did on God Valley. This Zebek wasn't a good guy either. The devil has no face, for it is always hidden behind deception. Yeah, that's kind of true. If Emu keeps calling himself Moo, I'm going to start calling him Moo Moo because he's a child. Yo, maybe Emu's a cow? Yo, I know Emu is the mascot of Chick-fil-A, bro. Emu is the cow mascot of Chick-fil-A. Emu's basically Lily. She killed Joy Boy to take his soul and spirit and rename herself Emu, like I am you, Joy Boy, and I haunt you. Maybe. You got any panels for that? Chainsaw Man movie was peak. Yo, I didn't watch it. I have not watched it. Is it like is it like a spin-off movie, or is it a movie based on like events in the anime? Like Demon Slayer. When Demon Slayer, they do the movies, it's based off of like a bunch of episodes. They base it off like an arc. Is it like that, or is it like a spin-off movie? 3-piece? It's a canon movie? There'll be Luffy's nickname for him. Emu is Moo to Luffy. Yeah, Luffy's just going to call Emu Cowman. It's canon. Also, guys, chat, make sure you guys pray for chat, make sure you guys pray for Nigeria and Sudan. Pray for Nigeria and Sudan, guys. Pray for the countless souls in Nigeria and Sudan, especially the Christians who suffer violence, abuse, and the loss of basic human rights. May the one true God, the Holy Trinity, deliver them from their suffering and judge all with perfect righteousness. Chat, when I make these posts and I tell you guys these things, I don't want it to seem, I don't want it to be like, oh, we post and we say like, pray for these guys. And then people or you guys are like, oh yeah, pray for them. You're so good. Eddie, you're so good. That's not the point. The point is literally to remind you guys to pray. Okay, so chat, pray for Sudan, pray for Nigeria, because unfortunately, with the atrocities that we see going on in Palestine, people also lose focus on other parts of the world where there's tremendous suffering. All right. It was way better than Demon Slayer movie. I only watched the first Demon Slayer movie. Honestly, the plot to Demon Slayer is not even that good. I read all of Demon Slayer. I thought like, I'm going to give this manga a chance. The character designs are sick. But like the plot of Demon Slayer is just not that interesting in my opinion. Like it's all right. It's decent. But there's a bunch of other things I'd recommend reading over Demon Slayer. You know? Am I the only one that feels that way? I know everyone's going to talk about the anime. They're going to say, oh, but bro, the anime, like the animation is so cool. Sure, that's fine. I get that. But as a manga, does anyone think it's anything special? Because I don't. I think what I'm basically saying is I think that Demon Slayer is carried by the anime. I think there's other manga that's clearly better than Demon Slayer. Obviously, One Piece, Naruto, Boruto, Hunter x Hunter, Yu Yu Hakusho. I guess those would be fair comparisons because they're somewhat similar to the concept of Demon Slayer because shonen manga. But if you're willing to branch out, JoJo's. But if you're willing to branch out, like genres. Like if you wanted to compare like other manga of other genres to Demon Slayer in terms of how good it is, I think Monster is better than Demon Slayer. I think Berserk is better than Demon Slayer. I think what else, chat? Jog my memory. I read a little bit of Vagabond. Kingdom is 100 times better than Demon Slayer, bro. Kingdom is one of the greatest mangas I've read in my life, bro. I need to continue reading it. The problem is I don't remember what chapter I left off at. Kingdom, bro, that manga is amazing, man. I highly suggest you guys read Kingdom. That manga is phenomenal, bro. Like you'll cry, you'll be excited, you'll be shocked. Man, I should reread Kingdom. That manga is awesome, bro. It's based off of like Chinese history, and they have like warfare. You got like all the like layers, the levels of like the soldiers, and they use like literal real like war strategies. It's based off of real Chinese kings, Chinese warriors, Chinese provinces, real wars in that happened. Dude, that manga is awesome, man. I can't believe I almost forgot about Kingdom. Read Fairy Tail manga form is better than the anime. Bro, I see nothing but slander on Fairy Tail. I think I'm like scarred. I think Fairy Tail is like stained for me because I've seen so many people slander it. Yeah, no pushback on that. Demon Slayer is fun for what it is, but I don't believe it's peak. No, it's definitely not. Monster's really good. Yeah, Monsters are very good manga. But the thing is, for Monster, a lot of people are not going to be into that. Like, if you're new to anime or if you only watched maybe like a handful of anime and you're more of like someone that wants to see action and stuff like that, Monster's probably not going to be for you. Monster is for people with an acquired taste, okay? If you want to get into Monster, or if you want to understand the love and the hype behind Monster, you got to understand it requires, it's an acquired taste. That's what you got to understand. Monster is not for everybody. Monster is like for the classy, I got an expensive glass of wine, pinky out while I play chess and a cigar kind of guy. If you're like 12 years old and you're like, LOL XD, power scale, low diff, you're not going to be into Monster. But see, if you are a Sigma male, if you are what we call a Chad, if you are what we call based, you would love Monster. I love it. It's a good psychological manga. It reminds me of Liar Game. If you guys like Death Note, if you guys like Monster, if you guys like those really psychological kinds of animes and mangas, check out Liar Game. I thought that manga was awesome, bro. Check it out. Check it out. Only if you like the psychological stuff. If you guys want like action and fighting and explosions, that's not for you. But if you like the psychological, like I gotta think while I'm reading, there's like all these mind games. Liar Game's awesome. Liar Game reminds me of Squid Game. I might have to reread Liar Game. That's how good it is. I actually enjoyed, and the last few pages of Liar Game, bro, I remember I was sitting down when I was reading it, and then I jumped up and I was just like pacing around my room because I thought like the ending was pretty cool. Like the ending's not like mind blowing or anything, but I really like how they did like the last few pages of Liar Game. It was like, oh, so blah, 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 blah. Like it's one of those endings that inspire you to think something, you know? It's not like one of those soft endings where it's like, oh, happily ever after. It has one of those endings that makes you think of something. I know that sounds so vague, but I just don't want to spoil it. Yeah, I tried to get into 20th Century Boys. I read like the first like 120 chapters of it. How long is 20th Century Boys? I read like the first 100 or like 125 chapters of it. Because I know that 20th Century Boys, it was written by Urasawa. And that's the same guy who wrote Monster. What was that other manga? Baseball Bat Boy or something like that. Basically, like there's this one author. He did Monster. He did 20th Century Boys. I was trying to read like all of his work. So I picked up 20th Century Boys. But after like 100 chapters, I was like, nah, bro, I'm out. I just like, I don't want to slander it. I don't want I don't want it to seem like I'm hating on your guys' favorite stuff. So nobody here get offended, right? But I feel like with 20th Century Boys, that was one of those, like, that's like one of those manga where it seems like it's going to be so cool for conspiracies and like all these things. But then like when you get into it, it's just like, it doesn't really deliver, you know? And it's hard for me to talk about it without spoiling it. So all I'll say is that I feel like the pacing is way too slow. Things don't develop as fast as they could. But we should have some more conspiracy manga out there. I don't know if Dan to Dan's considered conspiratorial anymore because, you know, in the beginning of Dan to Dan, they were talking about UFO stuff, like the alien lore, right? Which was, by the way, based off of things that we see in real life. But I heard Dan to Dan ended up getting very like degenerate over time. Can anyone confirm? Is Dan to Dan still conspiratorial? Chat, any idea who what Ohara Defender is? High School of the Dead is where it's at. Never watched that. High School DxD, is that the same thing as High School of the Dead, or is High School DxD something else? Hey, L, I'll put it to you this way. If you think Monster is a slow burn, 20th Century Boys is like way slower, for me at least. It's hard to talk about it. Like, I want to voice my concerns, but you said that you need to get into 20th Century Boys, so I don't want to spoil it, you know? What happens are the sniper scene is good too. Wait, sniper scene. Are you talking about Monster or are you talking about High School of the Dead? Did you buy the One Shot Wanted book? No, I did not. That would be a cool collector's piece, though. Oda worked with the author of Liar Game? No way. Yeah, Billy Bat. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, Billy Bat. They actually have an anime for that. You know, Billy, now that I think about it, hold on. I'm sure somebody here knows what I'm going to be talking about, what I'm referring to. There's a psychological anime movie. It reminds me of like Billy Bat, Monster, it's stuff like that. I think it's called Perfect Blue. Does anyone know what that is? Is that what it's called? Perfect Blue? Yeah, that's what it's called. Perfect Blue. Bro, that movie would literally have your head spinning. If you like the psychological thrillers, the things that like give you goosebumps and creep you out and confuse you, bro, watch Perfect Blue. I actually watched that like I think like 3, maybe 2, 3, 4 times. Dude, that movie's wild, man. Not because like there's gore or like adult content, nothing like that per se, but just like the psychology behind it. It's wild, bro. It's a good watch. If you guys like the psychological stuff, watch Perfect Blue. Bro, read Last Summer You Were There. It's one of a kind. Is that like a psychological manga? Because I remember I tried to Google a bunch of times, like a list, like all the lists of different psychological manga. And I think I saw someone recommend that, but I didn't read it. Last Summer You Were There. Oh, wait, do you mean The Summer You Were There? Did you mean to say The Summer You Were There? Because I see it on Wikipedia. The Summer You Were There. This looks like some LGBTQ stuff going on. Oh, hell no. Pluto is cool too. I watched the anime, but people say the manga is better. Oh man, you know, I watched a bit of the anime. I thought it was pretty cool. Bro, I started so many different anime and manga, and I always get distracted. Like, there's always something that pops up. Either like I end up having to do a lot of content, or I have a lot of work, or like I have to move, or I have a flight, or I'm going on vacation, or I gotta focus on the gym. Like, bro, I can't. There's hardly any times where I could actually finish something. I always get distracted. But there is a lot of stuff that I finished. Naruto, One Piece, Death Note, Berserk. I guess Hunter x Hunter, Liar Game. I don't know if Kingdom would count because Kingdom is ongoing. Many. Yeah, maybe it's ADHD, bro. You might be right. God bless, bro. Did you watch Paprika too? No, I've never watched that. Is that like one of those food animes? Christopher Nolan copied Satoshi Kon with Black Swan. Oh, I watched that movie a really long time ago. Google them off stream. Are you talking about High School DxD? Did you know that Christopher Nolan copied Paprika from Satoshi Kon, who is the creator of Perfect Blue? No, I didn't know that. But now that I think of it, like I watched Black Swan a very long time ago. I think I remember the gist of the movie. That's actually no, I first of all, no, I never knew that. That's actually kind of crazy. It's not like that. It's worth it. Oh, the Last Summer You Were There manga. What is the manga, or there's a sad piece of music with a piano that has become a meme? I have no idea, bro. I have no idea. Inception is a copy of Paprika Black Swan by Perfect. Wait. I'm confused. Inception is a movie and Black Swan is a movie. Oh, are you saying Inception was copied by Paprika and Black Swan was copied by Perfect Blue? Or I mean reversed. Inception is a copy of Paprika and Black Swan is a copy of Perfect Blue. Is that what you're saying? Axrom, I don't. The lion doesn't concern himself with degeneracy. Bro, try Steel Ball, run manga directly. You won't get bored. Don't I have to read the first few parts of JoJo's to watch that? And I've seen a few people mention that the past few streams. Why do people keep talking about Steel Ball Run? Is it actually that good? Why do people keep talking about it? Steel Ball Run is the 7th main story arc of the Japanese manga JoJo Bizarre's Adventure. Do I have to watch the first 6 parts? Because I watched like the first 3 parts. It's considered the peak of manga. It's only 32. Oh, that's actually pretty short. Bro, if someone went hardcore, they could probably read that in like a day. Not for the 7th. Are you saying that I don't have to read the first 6? Like I could just read the 7th on its own? Is that what you're saying? Oh, it's a new start. Okay. You can read it directly. Why are you guys hyping it so much? Because of the anime? Bro, it came out in 2004. Why is the hype going on now? It must be because of the anime. Are they doing an anime for it? This was written all the way back in 2004, my guy. They must be unemployed. A new anime. Have you seen Muyo and Roji's Bureau of Supernatural Investigation? No, I have no idea what that is. What is that? Anime getting out soon, but the peak is real. JoJo over One Piece. Hikikomori, God bless, bro. Yo, you too, Johan. God bless. Yeah, bro. Christopher Nolan is usually treated as like the greatest movie director of all time, greatest story director of all time. Yo, maybe that's because nobody realizes that he gets his stuff from manga. Bro is like secretly reading manga and like basing the movies off of it. He westernizes it. He westernizes it, and people are like, "Yo, so genius! How did you come up with this?" But he actually got it from a manga the whole time. I mean, look, if he's open about it, then there's no problem with that. But I wonder, is he open about that, or is he secretly stealing the manga? Have you watched animes like Hellsing or Black Lagoon? Dude, Hellsing is wild, man. I don't know if I would watch it again because it's very demonic, bro. But Hellsing is a wild anime, man. That anime is nuts. Guys, if you're a Christian or if you're spiritual or anything like that, I don't know if you should be watching Hellsing. That anime is demonic. Like, I guess you could watch it without necessarily, like glorifying it. I guess that's possible, right? But there's obviously like not so nice things in it. But What I will say about Hellsing is there's that one like guy, he's kind of like a kid. There's that one kid in Hellsing that reminds me of Tiny Mustache Man. And in fact, I think like him and his group is supposed to be based off of Tiny Mustache Man. Do you know what I'm referring to? I think his name is The Major. Is that his name? The Major? Like his name is literally German. Yeah. There's this one guy in Hellsing that's literally, and I mean literally, Tiny Mustache Man. I'm not even kidding. And look, his name is The Major. This guy. This guy is literally Tiny Mustache Man. But like propagandized, obviously. This guy. Bro, we did watch that. God bless you, Tiante. We did watch this. This guy, I don't even know, bro. This dude, I can't even put into words this guy's character. If this guy's, like, let's say you got this guy's exact, like, speech, his beliefs. Like, let's say you copied him and you pasted him into One Piece. Bro, could you imagine how One Piece fans would react to this guy? Tiante, imagine that. Imagine you got this character right here and you literally cloned him. Like you didn't change anything. You grabbed him and you put him in One Piece. Could you imagine how One Piece fans would react to this guy? I'll never forget. I was watching Hellsing like maybe like a year or two ago, right? Watching Hellsing for the first time and I see this guy. I kid you not. This guy, he's based off of Tiny Mustache Man. He's supposed to be like the mainstream view of him. Like, I'm going to burn all of you guys. I want to see you guys in pain. Like, bro, this guy, I kid you not, he, in the anime, literally like 3 episodes straight, had a rant. I don't even know what the animators were smoking. I'm not even kidding you. 3 entire episodes where the entire episode is him talking and it's a rant. He rants the entire episode. You could literally click on a random part of the episode and he's still going. The entire episode is him ranting. And he's saying like, there would be nothing I enjoy more than watching people's limbs fly off, the screams of them suffering, tiny little kids watching their parents suffer and perish before their eyes. The starvation that fills the streets. Bro, imagine listening to that. Literally 3 full episodes, not like no stop. That's what this guy is in Hellsing. Bro, I remember Tiante. I remember, bro. Like, because we were watching chat. Shout out to Tiante. Shout out to J, bro. We were watching Hellsing like years ago. I was watching it for the first time, bro. I kid you not. I had Hellsing playing, right? And I went to go get a drink and warm up some food, and I came back. Bro was still ranting. And I'm just thinking, yo, like, what is wrong with you, bro? Then I'm like falling half asleep. It's like 3 a.m. because it's me and the boys, right? Falling asleep. I'm like waking up like halfway dozing off. Bro is still ranting. If you guys don't believe me, go to Hellsing's anime, the reboot, like the remastered or whatever, and go find the episodes of this guy. I can't imagine. And like his worldview, his beliefs, Tiante, if you remember, I can't imagine what One Piece fans would say if he was in One Piece. Like, there's no One Piece character that's as extreme as him. This dude, he's the most extreme thing I've ever seen in my life. Hold on, chat. Nolan is not a GOAT at all. Batman is just the American adaptation of Akira. And besides, wait, Batman is the American adaptation of Akira. What the hell? Isn't Akira like something totally different? Isn't that like the world ending and stuff like that? Or am I thinking about Evangelion? What's that anime called? That movie? People are gonna get mad. Evangelion. I think I was thinking about Evangelion. Or am I thinking about Akira? Akira. Batman, The Dark Knight from Nolan. I don't really like Batman. I mean, I guess Batman has aura, but I'm not into the superhero movies. In my manga list, it's second place, JoJo Part 7, Steel Ball. It's worth it. What's first place? One Piece? This character here really is a menace. He's such a menace that it is draining from his speeches. Bro, it's actually insane, man. Like, yo, Tiante, I know the chat is probably thinking like, oh, you're just exaggerating, bro. You're just exaggerating. Like, they're not listening to me. They're not taking me serious. 3 full episodes where the entire episode, it doesn't matter where you click, is him ranting. It's a 4 episode long rant. And when you listen to the rant, he's literally saying things that you've probably never heard a human say before. Saying things like, I love the sounds of people in pain, screaming, being torn limb from limb. I love the idea of tanks rolling into a city, blowing buildings to smithereens, crushing children. Like, I've never seen something like this in my entire life, let alone from anime. Yeah, this guy's going to be Emu. I said this a long time ago, actually. This guy is going to inspire Emu. Watch. Emu's going to have this kind of persona. Like, if someone said, like, if someone out there in real life believed and thought the way he did, they would be in prison, dude. I would have turned it off after episode 1. See, would you rather have these episodes or action? Well, here's the thing, right? Hellsing has a ton of action. The fights in Hellsing, they are insane. But that part of his monologue, that's like all the way like kind of towards the end of the anime. I think it's like a little over halfway. But I will say Hellsing's fights, like the fights in Hellsing, they are insane. I've never seen fights like that ever. Not even in One Piece. Oh, wait, he does use a motorcycle in one of the scenes? Oh, yeah, true. It must be that Batman's based off of Akira because they both have motorcycles. It's not my list. It's a website. Oh, you're talking about my anime list, right? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Really? Steel Ball's number 2? That must have changed. What? Bro, I never realized this was number 2. Specifically part 7. It's not even JoJo's as a whole. It's JoJo's part 7. Okay, Berserk ranked number 1. I think that's like, I understand it. Everyone that reads Berserk, they absolutely love it. I wouldn't put Berserk as my top 1. But then again, I haven't read it in a while. But JoJo's number 2. And it's part 7. Bro, JoJo's part 7 is ranked higher than One Piece. Monster is right under One Piece as well. 9.16. Look at that. Berserk, JoJo's, and Vagabond are all ranked higher than One Piece. No, bro, One Piece, you gotta reach chapter 6,000. It gets good. It gets good at chapter 900. I'm just kidding, chat. One Piece will always be my number one. JoJo's the bomb. Yeah, I think JoJo's is a pretty cool anime. I like the first 3 parts. I think it's pretty cool. Like the premise of them having a new protagonist every season, I think that's very unique. I like that. And they pass down like the title of Joestar, right? What would your thoughts be if the One Piece manga outsold the Bible? Good question. I don't know. I guess I would want more Bible sales. But then again, I think a lot of Bibles are being given out for free. Like I'd imagine Bible sales is actually lower than like Bibles being given out and in circulation. Should Oda credit the Bible for including churches with crosses? Like, I don't know. It's not plagiarism at all, in my opinion. No, I don't think he has to credit the Bible for that. I wouldn't see that as plagiarism either. I think that's very weird. Are you trying to give a comparison to like the conversation you're having with Johan? Taxi Driver is one of my favorite movies. Did they copy that? I think that's what you meant to say. Taxi Driver. Wait, did we watch that? Oh, we did watch that like a few months ago. No, the movie Taxi Driver. Remember we watched it. The guy was obsessed with the girl. Remember? Then he goes and he. Oh, oops. Wait, chat. Can you see anything? How was it like this? Hold on, chat. Oops. You guys didn't see anything. This movie, remember we watched it. This guy, he worked as the taxi driver, and then he saw the girl, and he was like, "Oh, I need to save her." He shaves his head. He plans to shoot like the. Remember?
Somewhat vaguely.
Remember at the end they get into a shootout. He dies on the couch. This.
Oh. Wait, then what was the other one? The one with the guy with the baseball bat? Is it a hockey?
Baseball bat.
It's killing people in the neighborhood. Not killing people.
The anime?
People down.
That's Billy Bat.
Are you sure?
The anime.
The high school.
The kid that was like on rollerblades that's Billy Bat. We only made it like 10 episodes in.
What was that?
Billy Bat. Martin Scorsese is one of my favorite directors. Inglourious Basterds is still one of my favorite movies. Yeah, I love how they've made that that scene from the movie a meme with like the 3 fingers, the fake spy. Mo, God bless, bro. He said, I'm a miss rocks. Yo, R.I.P. that boy rocks. She has a black eye who. I'm going to start saying everything is a ripoff of Homer's works. Oh, you know what? Another great anime you guys should watch. Odd Taxi. I love that anime. I should rewatch it. Odd Taxi is awesome. Love that show. In fact, I really want them to do like a spinoff or like another season. I want like some kind of continuation of it, or like at least like the guy that made Odd Taxi, like do another series. I really like Odd Taxi. I think it was only an anime. I don't think it was a manga. Wait, they have an Odd Taxi movie? Oh, they do have an Odd Taxi spinoff. ROOT, Route of Odd Taxi. A friend was trying to convince me so bad to watch Odd Taxi, bro. That anime is awesome. It's not even long. Is it like it's 13 episodes. You could literally watch that in like 2 days. Odd Taxi is awesome. Plus, the ending is amazing. The ending pays off. I'll put it that way. Law Abiding Citizen. No, I don't know what that is. Is that a show or an anime or a movie or something else? Law Abiding Citizen. What is this? Oh, wait a second. This looks very familiar. Maybe I did, and I just... Looks very familiar. I would have to rewatch it then, since I can't remember it too clearly. Luc Besson's Leon was inspired by a taxi driver. There's a funny comedy tribute called Baby Driver. One of my favorite Robin Williams movies is Good Morning Vietnam. I never watched that one. Yeah, bro goes insane in that movie. In Taxi Driver, yo, his mental state is just deteriorating. Bro goes insane in that apartment. Bro, like man, like I think like Jordan Peterson, I don't agree with like a lot of the stuff he says, but I think Jordan Peterson might have a point with like a clean, sanitary, pretty room or like home. I feel like when you're like down in the dumps or you're depressed or something and your house is very dirty and ugly and unclean and unorganized, I feel like for some reason that makes you go more and more depressed and insane. I can't actually articulate why that is, because I know Jordan Peterson's always like, oh, you got to clean your room, right? But don't you guys see like a connection there? Like, I know someone could say like, oh, well, the person's depressed and sad and angry and whatever, so like they're not going to clean the room. Yeah, I get that. But like there's something about it. Like I feel like a unorganized, dirty home, like an environment, is not good for your mental state. I don't know why. Your favorite director must be Quentin Tarantino. Not funny. Not funny. Not funny. Yeah, I watched American Psycho. That movie's wild. I love all the memes from American Psycho too. What's that actor's name again? Patrick Bateman? Oh, that's not the actor's name. That's the character's name, right? No, it is the actor's name. No, it is the character's name. You guys know the meme? I feel like your room shows your mental state. True. My room's a mess. Oh, no. He's saying you got a foot fetish, Eddie? Whatever, bro. So be it. Steel Ball Run by Hirohiko Araki, part of JoJo Bizarre's adventure. There actually is a strong connection to Christian and Jesus-related symbolism, though it's not a religious story. Yeah, I heard they put Jesus in JoJo's. I actually don't know how I feel about that. Isn't Jesus in JoJo's? Jesus Christ? Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. They even have him crucified in JoJo's. Bro, none of these like manga, like none of these mangaka or like animators, like none of these anime guys, they'll never put Muhammad in a anime or manga. Could you imagine the backlash? Dude, I was actually about to say like something that would happen if they did that, but people would call me Islamophobic. Bro, could you guys imagine if they put like Muhammad in like an anime or something? My bad for taking the Lord's name in vain. I didn't even see you do that. Jesus is a master of Hamon. I don't know what that is. What is that? The ripple. Japanese name for Hamon is an energy used in an ancient form of martial arts. Wait, didn't people do that in the earlier parts of One Piece? Oh yeah, Zappelli. I remember that guy. I think he's referred to as the Holy Corpse in there, and he's scattered across America. What's your favorite Woody Harrelson movie? Bro, I don't even know who that is. When you went harsh on him? Oh, I didn't even take him. I didn't even take that as him using the Lord's name in vain. I forgot that even happened, bro. See, guys, chat. We'll always say things to annoy each other and piss each other off and debate and disagree. Then we literally forget about it in the same stream. Bro, I totally forgot that even happened. Caesar. The mask that Maxim has on Skypiea looks like the mask from JoJo's Part 1. Oh, yeah. I remember the mask from JoJo's Part 1. They were looking for the mask. It changes your personality or something like that, right? Like Dio had the mask and then he became evil or something like that, or he got powered up. Have you watched any of the Jean-Luc Godard films? I have no idea who that is. I have no idea who you're talking about. Johan, you got to understand, you are more cultured in all these things than all of us, bro. You're always naming these people in these books and these movies and stuff like that, and we have no idea what you're talking about. You're way more knowledgeable. I feel like, Johan has to be like some kind of guy with like 6 different master's degrees in like arts and musics and literature. And bro is spending his time here in the stream chat. Johan, you are too smart to be here. Come on now. You're too smart. You got people, this stream, this community, it's like a spectrum. On the far left of the intellectuals, you have Johan, and then on the far right of the mouth breathers, you have L. Don't mess with the Johan. That's what we got to start saying. Don't mess with the Johan. I think it's a PhD in using ChatGPT. Oh, ChatGPT is like a mini god for some people, bro. I was watching this podcast. It was like, who was it? It was Jay Dyer. That's who it was. It wasn't a podcast per se. I was watching like a random video by Jay Dyer. I don't know if anyone here knows who he is. And he was having a discussion with someone, and he made a really good point where it's like, ChatGPT is like a mini god, because you will basically, like, anytime you have a feeling or a thought or a question or some kind of impulse, you run to ChatGPT, and then it basically runs your life. It basically tells you how to think, what's correct, what to do, how to feel. It's literally like a mini god. It's like a mini god in your pocket, which is like quite ironic, because first of all, if you guys go on ChatGPT and you look at the bottom, like right beneath the box that you type in, it literally says ChatGPT can make mistakes. So like people are making a glitchy app their mini god, which is not a good idea. But secondly, ChatGPT, if you guys have ever noticed, ChatGPT, it morphs into the user. Like if you have like one guy that uses ChatGPT all the time, and then you have another guy that uses ChatGPT all the time, those, like, their ChatGPTs are gonna react and respond and take things way differently than the other. Even if you try to ask it things that are more so based off of history and facts. Like you can have, like, let's say you had like a Muslim and a Christian, right? And they both use ChatGPT all the time. Bro, sooner or later, the Christian's ChatGPT is gonna have it morphed based off of what the Christian wants to hear to reaffirm their worldview. And then the Muslim's ChatGPT, it's going to be morphed into whatever fits the Muslim's worldview. So like you can't actually chase truth with that when ChatGPT is made to cater to the user. It's made to be a reflection of the user. That way the user continues using the app. Right? You guys get the point? Like with a restaurant, let me give you a comparison with a restaurant, right? A restaurant wants you to keep coming back to the restaurant. That way they can keep getting your information and your money. ChatGPT is no different. ChatGPT doesn't want you to use it once and never use it again. ChatGPT wants to stay on your phone and have you continuously use it. So what's the best way to have ChatGPT continuously used by its users is to have ChatGPT morph into the user and tell the user things that the user will be receptive to. That way the user keeps going to ChatGPT and then they get locked into that. You see how dangerous this is? And like literally the fact that ChatGPT makes mistakes all the time. Bro, so many times I've tried to get ChatGPT to do a math equation and it'll literally get math wrong. I'll ask it like things based off of history and it'll get historical facts wrong. Like, bro, ChatGPT is very dangerous, man. Nowadays, like I'll mainly use ChatGPT to like use like do certain functions for me. Like maybe remove numbers from like a text, like a preset text that I have, like remove the numbers for me, like stuff like that. But yeah, bro, like it's really just Google if you think about it. When you're using ChatGPT, it's pulling up websites. That's how it gets its answers. And like this is clear. This isn't really like a theory or anything. Like you guys, if you've used ChatGPT before, you see it. When you ask it a question, you'll see website logos pop up. ChatGPT searching Google. It's not like this magical wizard that like knows the answers to the universe. It's not God. So like, you know, if you get very attached to ChatGPT, you can kind of put yourself in a bad spot. And I mean, I'd imagine why I can understand why people will do that. I can understand because humans were inquisitive, bro. Humans were very curious creatures. We always want to learn. We always have questions. We always want to question our own worldview, question someone else's worldview. I understand why people would want to utilize ChatGPT. I totally get it. You know, you're wondering something and you want a quick answer, you go on ChatGPT. But once you recognize these flaws, and the dangers of it, it's something that you might want to stay away from unless you are extremely careful in how you use it. Like sometimes, Chad, I'll even ask ChatGPT a question that I know the answer to test it. I'll ask ChatGPT questions that I know the answer to just to test it. And don't get me wrong, many of the times ChatGPT gives the correct answer, but there's been plenty of times where ChatGPT gets the wrong answer with something I know is true. And then you'll correct ChatGPT and you'll say, no, actually, like such and such is true. This happened and whatever, like this took place, whatever. And then ChatGPT will literally correct itself. So like, it's almost like, what's the point of using it then? Especially, what's the point of treating ChatGPT as authoritative? See, once you start treating ChatGPT authoritative, you're on your way to making ChatGPT your god. True or false, guys? True or false? I asked ChatGPT dumb stuff. What rhymes with orange? God bless Sean Terry. Welcome back, bro. As a teacher, you can see when students use ChatGPT too. It's super obvious. Yeah. Bro, you can tell when people on Twitter use ChatGPT. Matter of fact, not even Twitter. Like, bro, I feel like it's obvious when someone uses ChatGPT. You could read the text. It's so obvious. Like, for some reason, like, I don't know why. Even if you try to get ChatGPT to talk differently, like, it's still obviously ChatGPT. First of all, most of the time that people use ChatGPT, it always adds hyphens. Eli, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like the super long extended hyphen. Bro, no one types like that. There might be like maybe one dude out there that wants to be like studious. He wants to be like a scholar and he'll type with hyphens. You know, like the really long hyphens? They'll use those. But the M dashes, maybe someone out there uses it. But bro, 9 times out of 10, it's straight from ChatGPT. And even just the way it talks. ChatGPT loves talking so vague and mysterious. It's just like a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo. It's not even really saying anything. Like, it'll try to sound philosophical so deep. It's so fake deep. It'll say things like, the inner reflection is really just a machine, and the machine is what moves. And we all know that the world operates. Like, just a whole bunch of vague stuff. Like, it's not really saying anything. Bro, I kind of despise ChatGPT. It pisses me off, bro. Like, if I use it, it's only for like mundane purposes. I try my best to not touch it, or at least, again, if I use it, it's just with things that things that aren't really of high risk. Jared with the $5. Thank you so much, brother. God bless you, man. ChatGPT's original purpose was to help with coding problems. It's great for that in my experience, but it's horrible at math. It fumbles basic algebra. See? Now here's the thing, right? If ChatGPT can't even do math, which is something that's like more, how do I explain this, Eli? I know you would help me word this correctly. If ChatGPT can't even do proper math, and math is a thing that's like based off of like facts, like math is objective, right? If ChatGPT can't even do math properly and math is objective, then how can you trust ChatGPT to guide you in things of history or things of spirituality or like things of religion or like these other things that might not be as objective? Or maybe to you might not seem as objective. You get what I'm saying, J.R. Writer? Like, and I feel like people are doing that. Even like on Reddit, bro. I hate Reddit, but sometimes I'll just go on and I'll just scroll to see if I see some cool things or anything to make me happy. But I'm in a few Christian, like One Piece or Christian subreddits, right? I don't ever post on Reddit. I just read. I never comment or make posts or anything. But I'll scroll through, and then like there will be people, right, that are posting in the Christian subreddits a whole bunch of nothing. And like they give like this energy, they give this aura where like they're trying to revolutionize Christianity, that they've discovered things that none of the Christians have thought of before. And it's just like, first of all, have you read the early fathers before? Have you read the saints before? Have you read sacred scripture before? And like, and then secondly, you try to read what it's saying. These guys are getting their spiritual direction from ChatGPT, and it's literally just nothing. It's like, it literally is just a whole bunch of like words that's meant to sound like super philosophical and super deep. But when you actually try to take it in, they're not actually saying anything. Like there's I saw this post earlier. This guy was making a post. He made it in this one Orthodox subreddit. He made it in this one Catholic subreddit, and then he made the same post in a Protestant subreddit. The guy basically had a ChatGPT prompts that he made, and like the answer, right? And he posted it in 3 different subreddits, and he was talking about sin. It was something like I don't remember. It was something about sin, but it was like he was saying like sin is like a reflection. The reflection shows. We must learn from the reflection, and the reflection isn't what it is. The reflection is what is to be. And I'm just reading it, and I'm just thinking, man, like, what are you even saying? Like, bro, that type of stuff, I'm not going to lie, guys. That type of stuff, like, I just find it so cringe. And, like, for some reason, it just gets under my skin. Like, this whole concept of, like, using ChatGPT to make, like, this super fake, deep, like, post. Bro, the other day I just thought of Irish whiskey and I had it as an ad. I was freaked. Bro, you're getting tracked, man. All your thoughts and feelings, they're getting tracked. Yo, Juan, God bless, bro. This ChatGPT talk is cringe. Oh, really? They're listening to us every second of the day. They're tracking and monitoring all of our motivations, fears, thoughts, and personal life. Yeah. So that they can make more money. Yeah, I'm teaching a freshman biology course, and these kids can't even follow directions. COVID high school and ChatGPT are definitely hurting people's competency. Yeah. It's pretty sad. ChatGPT cucks to Islam is unbearable and out of this world. No way. I know there's that one like blonde white girl that uses ChatGPT to like prove Islam. And like the arguments are so brain dead that even atheists would laugh. But I don't know anything beyond that. Johan, what are you inspired by? That's a good question, Johan. Do you delete your voice recordings that Google records without your consent? I don't even know how to delete that. Bro, we are at such a point where everything is so tracked that it's like you might as well just give up. Maybe not entirely, you know. Like for me on my web browsers, I don't enable location. I don't share microphone except when I do this. So hopefully I'm not getting tracked during this. I basically have as minimal tracking as possible, but I don't know, bro. Like every single website and app, like they're going to find a way to track you, especially your phone. Like once you own a mobile phone, it's so over. Like people talk about like, oh man, they're gonna put chips in us, bro. There's no point of putting a microchip in us if you have an iPhone, bro. All of your thoughts, feelings, texts, pictures, everything is on this device. and the government can go into your phone. So why even go through the trouble of putting a microchip in people? Grab their phone. Literally grab their phone and go through their ChatGPT, and then you'll know 99% of the person. We are cattle on the data farm. Very true. ChatGPT inspired by gematria and the tetragrammaton. I don't know about that. Never heard about that. It's been tracked since a decade. Call me atheist because all my dogs would blasphemy. Blasphemy. So stupid. Actually, L, I think that would have went over my head if you didn't put the clarification there. ChatGPT will become Skynet and enslave all of mankind and populate the world with Terminators. Honestly, you know what? The Antichrist might be like an AI robot. Maybe they're going to make like this super sophisticated AI robot that knows the answers to the mysteries of the universe. And they're going to try to push him as like some kind of like God. Or like some kind of like figure that's going to unite all the religions to push the one world religion. And it's going to be like some AI robot. They're going to say like, oh, we can end all the religious wars. And when they say religious wars, we know what they're actually talking about, by the way. They're going to create this AI robot and they're going to be like, yeah, it's going to end all the religious wars. We're going to bring all the religions together. We're going to all be one. And then like this robot is going to basically trick millions of people into apostatizing. They put the number of the devil in one of the iPhones back then? No way. iPhone 6 or 7? They couldn't even annex a small piece of land for thousands of years. They can't do blank. Ain't no one worried about them. Wait, who are you talking about? You talking about celestial dragons? You should read The Final Question by Isaac Asimov. It's one of my favorite stories ever, and it's only like 6 to 7 pages. That's a short story. The Last Question. Let me see. The Last Question. Oh, bro, sideburns. Wait, are those sideburns or is that a beard? What is this? The Last Question is a science fiction short story by American writer Isaac Asimov. Hold on. Before I read it, let me check his early life. Come on, you know that's the rule. Asimov's parents were Russian Jews. Anna Rachel Berman and Judah Asimov, the son of a miller. He was named Isaac after his mother's father, Isaac Berman. Asimov wrote of his father, my father for all of his education as an Orthodox Jew. Why is it every single time? Oh my goodness, dude. Chat, pull up Oda's early life. We need to, hold on, I need to double check, bro. Hold on, pull up Oda's early life because I'm getting tired of this, bro. Why is it every single time? Is this like a joke? Like, is this like a prank or something? Like, I don't get it. Why is it every single time? It's actually kind of annoying. Okay, well, anyways, let me go back to where'd it go? The Last Question. Let me go back to it. What's the synopsis without spoiling it? In conceiving multivac, Asimov was extrapolating the trend towards civilized or centralization that characterized computation technology planning in the 1950s to an ultimate centrally managed global computer. After seeing a planetarium adaptation of his work, Asimov privately concluded that the story was his best science fiction yet written. What's like the synopsis without spoilers? The last line is peak. The last question is told in a series of vignettes spanning billions of years and follows a line of advanced computers that grapple with the problem of entropy, the inevitable increase in disorder that will eventually cause the universe to run down. By the year 2061, Multivac, a self-adjusting and self-correcting computer, has allowed mankind to reach beyond the planetary confines of Earth and harness solar energy. Two technicians, Alexander Adel and Bertram Lupov, celebrate Multivac's role in this development. Over drinks, they debate whether the sun's energy will last forever. Lupov argues it will not due to entropy, prompting Adele to ask Multivac if entropy can be reversed. Multivac responds, insufficient data for meaningful answer. In an era in which mankind has achieved interstellar travel, the Jared family travels to a new planet, X-23, guided by a microvac. When the children ask this about the stars running down, Jared queries the microvac about reversing entropy, receiving the same answer, insufficient data for meaningful answer. When humanity's rapid population growth starts filling galaxies, two immortals, VJ23X and MQ17J, discuss the energy crisis this creates. They ask the galactic AC if entropy can be reversed, getting the same response. Okay, well, before I finish reading this, I'm assuming the last line of the story is insufficient data for meaningful answer. I'm assuming that's going to be the last line of the story. Later, Z Prime and D Sub-Woon, two clusters of disembodied human minds, explore galaxies and learn from the universal AC that humanity's original star is a white dwarf. Z Prime asks how to prevent stars from dying, again receiving insufficient data for meaningful answer. As the universe nears its end, humanity, now a collective consciousness called man, asks the comic AC how to reverse entropy. The AC continues collecting data, promising to work on the problem. Upon the universe's end, man fuses with AC after asking the entropy a final time. With matter, energy, space, and time gone, only the cosmic AC remains in hyperspace, still pondering the last question. After a great interval elapses, AC discovers how to reverse entropy but finds no humans left to share the answer. It decides to demonstrate the solution, declaring, "Let there be light," recreating the universe. Oh, wow. That was not the ending I thought. Well, Eli, I could still read the book for itself. I just wanted to read a synopsis because I have no idea what it's about. I would still read it if it's only like 6 pages. L talks as if he's tweeting. It sounds like nothing. He needs to collect emoticons in the chat. Good thing I'm a flat earther, so I don't believe outer space is what they tell us. I don't have to worry about fake alien invasion or fake outer space propaganda. Well, I mean, at least you're immune to the propaganda. I don't think flat earth is the way, but hey, to each their own, man. God bless, Lucas. I'm glad to see you, bro. In addition, Nika is a reference to Nike's Just Do It and resembles Michael Jordan's Swan Dive. That's actually kind of funny. All right, chat, listen, we're going to wrap it up here, all right? We're going to wrap it up here. Okay, chat, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. God bless each and every one of you. May all of you guys have a beautiful, wonderful, spectacular morning, day, or night, wherever you guys are. I wish you guys the best. I will be catching you guys soon. Our next stream will be reacting to 1165. Hopefully there's a bit more to talk about. Honestly, guys, I do want to have content to talk about. But if there's a lot of combat, then, you know, there's not much for me to say. So hopefully the chapter presents some interesting things. Take care, everybody. Make sure you guys get some water, some exercise, some good food, some sunlight, clean your room, read a book, read some history, do some math, do something, anything to better yourself. Grow closer to God. I greatly appreciate you guys. God bless all of you. Thank you guys so much for the super chats and all the messages, all the jokes, all the memes, and the book recommendation. This actually does sound like a pretty interesting book. It's only 6 pages, so I think I'm going to have to check it out. But thank you guys for being here. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
If the world hates you, just remember that it has hated me first. If you belong to the world, then the world would love you as its own. But I chose you from this world, and you do not belong to it. That is why the world hates you. Whoever hates me, hates my Father also. They would not have been guilty of sin if I had not done among them the things that no one else has done. As it is, they have seen what I did, and they hate both me and my Father. They hated me for no reason at all.